Shopping at Acme Markets now earns you gas reward points to redeem at participating Sunoco stations. Shop and start earning today. Look for additional fuel savings on MyMix. Sign up at acmemarkets.com or download the Acme app today. Get Lancaster brand USDA choice beef bone-in ribeye roast, $4.77 a pound with in-ad coupon and additional $25 purchase. And imported seedless clementines, 2-pound bags, $1.99. Maximum gas reward at participating Sunoco stations is $1 per gallon in a single fill-up up to 25 gallons. Other restrictions and exclusions apply. See complete details at acmemarkets.com.
Man, we are here. It's originating from the studios of LNP, and that could be anywhere you want it to be, but we're in Long Island. Beautiful Nassau County. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents, ways to follow the show. LateNightParents.com. For those of you that don't like typing and that are lazy during this holiday season, LNP.TV will bring you to our portal. Facebook.com/Late Night Parents. Twitter.com/Real Ted Hicks. Or Late Night Parent will get you to either of the handles. Happy to be here. It's another day, and I'm working on a bunch of things, whole bunch of things, but very excited because tomorrow night I will be in Washington, D.C. for the weekend. And guess what? I'll be on WPFW 89.3 in Washington, D.C. on Soul Conversations radio show, 10 p.m. Friday night. How about that? Yeah, I'm kind of moving up in the world a little bit, but no, my good friend DJ YZL J Stewart has a weekly Neo Soul show and invited me to come on down there, so I'm going to spend some time with family and friends in D.C. I think it's Saturday we're going to Capitals Canadiens. Sunday, Clippards and Wizards. That sounds like a stinker of a game, to tell you the truth. And then we were planning on attending Redskins Panthers, but a friend of mine recently lost his son and having the funeral homegoing services on that Monday, so I'll be traveling back. Along those lines, on Sunday night, you'll expect to hear Late Night Parents on WGBB 1240 AM, but I won't be there, but co-hosting will be Dr. Michelle and Rich Valdez with a very special year-in review show. I'm going to take some time off and hit you strong again. January 8th, Sunday, will be the first show of the year on the Sunday night radio show. But as usual for the new year in 2017, we'll be hitting you with podcasts. You know, I kind of got a little lazy, a little slack, but going to be hitting you with podcasts hard and heavy. Yeah, I'll put it out like that. So here's what we're going to do. There's a Color Rush game going on right now, and I don't know if you're interested. But if you're not, and hopefully you're listening, whether to the live podcast right now or through the archive through one of our distributors, we're going to talk a little football. We're going to talk a little NFL. And there's one person in the entire world that I prefer to talk NFL with. None other than, I mean, it's so old to say brother from another mother, and we used to be down the dial and all of this other stuff, but Big Bucko Bruce is in the building virtually with me right now. Bucko, what's going on, brother?
Oh, you meant me. You said no one else you'd rather talk football with. I was thinking John Gruden or somebody else. You meant me. Oh, what's up, Teddy? Good to hear from you, brother. How you doing, sir?
Same here. My short list is Bucko, Mike Tirico, and Mike Florio. That's my top three. I'll leave it right there. Three
man.
knowledgeable people about the game.
Man,
so you're in good company,
two,
Bucko.
Man. I need to. Yeah, I need to take a breath and reel that in for a minute, sir. That's high praise. I hope I don't disappoint the audience.
Nah, never that, Bucko. Never that. So before we get into anything, we talk about life, Bucko. So happy to have you on here. We lost a legend today in the NBA. Rest in peace to Craig Sager. You know, a lot of people knew him for the colorful suits. A lot of people knew him for, you know, some of the antics on the sidelines and keeping the game fun, keeping the stars loose. But, I mean, we lost an icon. I mean, and this has been a year. We've got less than 2 weeks left. But, Bucko, this has been a year. Any thoughts on Craig Sager?
Honestly, one of the greatest and probably the original of the sideline reporter. You know, there's a plethora of eye candy and things they roll out nowadays, but the actual guy to go down there, get the interview after the game, or get the feel of the game from the field, you know, I believe he was one of the first to do it. Like, I remember my first memory as a Braves fan was hearing him and Hank Aaron when he hit 715, you know, back in the 70s. So, you know, he's been around for a long time, and he's been part of some iconic moments in sports. And the flashy jackets and the colorful personality, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The guy's been around for a lot, man. Well, 2016 has been a brutal year. We've lost a lot of good people.
Bucko, so true. And you know what? I guess we're going to take a different approach in 2017 because, you know, these new jacks who, you know, the only thing they know is Google and YouTube and, let me pull up the video on it. I mean, I remember in the 90s, in the late 80s, you know, watching TNT and seeing Craig Sager. I mean, and just being a staple. Like, if you love the NBA, you know, you love Sager, but he was versatile. You know, could talk baseball too, and everything else like that. And you know, like a lot of these guys nowadays, they can just speak one sport. I mean, they can do it fluidly and proficiently, but they could just do one sport. And you had someone, you know, who can dabble in multiple sports. And I don't know, it's a lost art. It's a lost art, man. Another legend gone. So wanted to acknowledge Craig Sager and be respectful, but Bucko, what's been going on in your world? Before we talk any football, we gotta talk about life.
Yeah, man.
What's going on in your?
I need some late night parent counseling right now. I mean, for those of you who have heard me come on this great show, you know that I have three beautiful, lovely daughters. Wouldn't trade them for the world. And I'm recently married to my lovely pregnant wife. Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
We just went to the courthouse, and man, we've been engaged for 4 years. So, you know, neither one of us believe in the hoopla of making a big deal out of it and wasting tens of thousands of dollars. So we just went to the courthouse, made it official, just mainly for tax and insurance purposes. But you know, needless to say, the house is overloaded with estrogen. We got a female dog. I got 3 daughters, and now my pregnant hormonal wife. Man, I've been looking for shelter and solitude in the restroom just to get a moment of silence. Man, it's been fun. It's been a fun couple of months. I tell you what, it's good to get on here and just talk some ball and vent with my long lost brother.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I saw the Facebook post. I saw the Facebook post, and I got to tell you, I really didn't know what was going on because, truthfully, Bucko, the fact that you and the missus have been together, I thought you guys were already married.
That's the overwhelming reaction. My own step siblings, down in Tampa, my father remarried. I have stepbrothers and sisters. They thought I swore you guys were already married, and that's honestly how we kept it. And this piece of paper from the state of Georgia really doesn't change anything. We're both God-fearing people. We both, believe in the sanctity of marriage and what have you. We don't think we were living in sin or anything like that. But, we owed it to each other to just go ahead and make it official and put it on paper. And it shocked a lot of people. Like, I've put 1.5 million things on Facebook over the past decade, and that one post got like 300 people to react to it. I was like, wow, man.
Wow.
Like, I didn't think it was that big a deal. I really didn't. But we're happy.
Of
we're
course
blessed,
it's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, we tried to underplay its significance, I guess.
I know. Like I said, majority of people were like myself and thought you guys were already married. And then I was just like, oh, okay, that's great. Congratulations. And you keep it moving because it is a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Because, the relationship that you guys have, it was there, and so tell me this much. Now that you guys are officially married, any difference the next morning when you woke up?
No, she obviously, had some happiness, just the fact of being able to, go ahead and make the legal name change. Like, she went to the Social Security office and everything the next morning. Like, she couldn't wait. She was excited about that. But no, it's been status quo, business as usual. Our relationship is perfect. I implore everyone to try to find what I have currently, because I've been married and divorced before this, what I have now. But the 7 years I've spent with this woman have been great. Well, through the trials and tribulations of financial woes, we've managed to stay humble and stay. You heard us in action. I don't know if you've met her. I can't remember. I don't think you have, but you heard us on the phone with our back and forth. Yes. It's like me and you talking. It's like my best friend. I can sit there and talk football with her. She's a bandwagon Broncos fan. I talk trash to her. It's like, you're just like Ted.
That's perfect, Dan. That's perfect. Well, it's like we're talking. It's just so good to hear a story because Bucko, you watch the news, you watch what these journalists or are reporting out there, and you read the tabloids, and you see this world is nothing but about divorce and something negative. So it's just so great for you to share a positive story, and it's personal. It's about your life, and it's about your walk, and it's about what you're doing, and the fact that you guys are bringing another life into this world means so much. But it's good to see that you guys are on solid ground. You guys are on solid ground. You got a tight foundation, and a lot has to be said for both of you guys. So all the best. And like I said, I can't wait to meet the missus and the family. I think I gotta come down there when the Braves open up their stadium. Are they opening up this April or is it next April?
Yes,
this year.
No, it's this April. It's almost complete. Like, you can see the brick face fronting being put up and the electronics, the jumbo screens going up. Like, you can see it from the highway. It's almost there. The only thing that won't be, like, how when you go to Wrigley, they have Wrigleyville, with all these shops and things you can do around the stadium. Mm-hmm. The Braves are adopting that same concept. They are just still, that construction is well behind. It won't be ready till like 2018. But when they get it all said and done, you're talking about being able to get off the transit and walk across the catwalk to the little Braves village. It's going to be cool, man. It's going to be really cool.
Oh, that's nice. I definitely want to come down there this spring. And, because like you said, Turner was something totally different. Yeah. Turner was something totally different. It was like there was nothing around there And, I hate to say it.
You get harassed by the bums. I mean, not to be politically incorrect, but those damn bums were ruthless out there. I mean, they were ruthless.
The vagrants out there, not only that, but there's a piece in regards to you're parking your car, and you're like, okay, is my car going to be here when I get back? And you're just like, all right. So
shady.
It was
like you're parking in a gravel ditch. Like, is this okay right here? I mean,
is this legit?
And then I got to pay you $30 to park in this? Wow.
Right. Right. So excited about.
But enough about me, man. How are you? How is the young man? How is the family? How's the daughter? The volleyball? How's everything going?
Oh, man, everything's going great. Life is good. No issues. Well, I do have one issue, Bucko. I will tell you this. I will share this with you. The one issue I'm dealing with in school, with my son's school, is he's reluctant, and his school is a school, they wear uniforms. He's reluctant to wear his tie. It's caused so many problems that the teacher has even called me to reference his tie. And, giving her the utmost respect, because she said, Mr. Hicks, I know this is sounds petty, but he's not wearing his tie. And I kind of looked at the cell phone because the call comes in 11:30, so I'm at work. And, we're sitting there, and I'm looking at the phone, and I said, okay, this is my son's school, Nemo's school, and I said, let's see. And I was wondering if it was going to be an automated call versus, no, it was a live person. It was his teacher, and she was like, yeah, he's got to wear his tie. And so then I asked my son, like, that evening, saying, hey, I got a call from your teacher. And he was like, you did? I said, yeah. I got a call from the teacher about you not wearing your tie. He said, oh, Dad, no one wears a tie. And I said, yeah, but we're getting a call about this. So it's not about everyone. It's about you.
Yeah.
Bucko, I got to tell you, that talk did not work. So I was going to, put the fear of God in him. And you know what I decided to do? I didn't lay a hand on him. I didn't yell at him. I took two things from him, both of his controllers for his Xbox One. And I just said, you know what? And I left the physical Xbox is still plugged into his room. I just took the remotes. And I said, when you are, dressed properly at school and the teacher's no longer calling me, that's when you'll get these things back. Because I felt like I was talking to him like either I was blue in the face or he was blue in the face. And I said, it's embarrassing. I'm glad that the teacher's not calling me to say, he's having an issue with math or with ELA or anything like that. But it was about a tie. Yeah. And I said, she shouldn't have to take the time out of her day to call me in the middle of my day to talk about your tie, something that should be a non-issue.
Well, at least you didn't pull a Ron Rivera and put him on the bench and play Derek Anderson. At least you didn't do that over a tie.
Yes. Someone referenced that to me. Someone said, your son is having a Cam Newton moment.
Yeah. Now, if he starts wearing cardigans and foo-foo scarves, we're going to have a conversation with young man. But
it's a whole nother conversation.
Hey, not to get too far off topic, but I was listening to the radio, a little radio clip from Charlotte online where Cecil Newton, Cam's father, called in, and they asked him how he feels about Cam's fashion senses. He said, man, it's hard when your son's walking around there looking like Medea, but what do you say? What do you do? And I died laughing at that. I died laughing. I was comical.
It is. I tell you, Bucko. I mean, there's so many different things in football that we can talk about. But it was good catching up for both of us to catch up with each other. For the listeners, there is a real friendship here. there is camaraderie here, and it's not just people that just fill time. I mean, we could sit here and talk for the next 3 hours if we wanted to, about life and about how things happen, because there's the care is there, the love is there, and you're someone that I really have a real good feeling about, and I'm just happy that you and your family are happy. I'm happy that it's the holiday season. You're not suffering from the holiday blues. You are, things have just
my wallet is crying.
Yeah,
but me, I'm good.
Sure. Hey, I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
And because we're this is a PC society. Well, at least before the president-elect takes office, we were a PC society. But I got to tell you, what's the gentleman's name from the Cardinals that got cut? Michael Floyd?
Michael Floyd.
Floyd, and how he got picked up by the do we want to say
Patriots.
I mean, do we even say even just New England, or just, I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, so the PC side of me is like, this guy had a DWI or DUI, fell asleep at the wheel, car gear. He's cut and picked up within 24 hours. How do you feel about that from a PC perspective versus a football perspective?
Well, the side of me that, unbeknownst to some of the listeners here, but the people that know me, I dabble in a few beers every now and again. But I am a strong proponent of, I don't get behind that wheel. I would be unequivocal. Like, I would not be able to deal with myself if I took someone else's life because I took that chance. So yes, I have a huge problem with someone, you're that messed up at the wheel to where you fall asleep with your car in drive and your foot at the brake at a red light. Yes, I have a huge problem ethically with making that decision. With that being said, football wise, he may have been just as bad a football player as he was a decision maker that night. He's done nothing of merit in this league. He came in first round pick out of Notre Dame with a bunch of hype. Big kid, I think like 6'4", 225, solid player, but has really done nothing in this league. He hasn't flourished. He has never given you what you thought he would be. So I think this is like his second DUI, and I hear rumors that he's not a good locker room guy. He doesn't give effort every play. So, and this is the last year of his contract anyway, so they were quick to get rid of him.
Right.
And I just find it funny that there's a lot of teams like Tampa Bay, the Giants. There's a lot of teams in the playoff hunt that sure can use a big body wide receiver. And New England's the only one that put in a claim for him. The only team. I just find that to be odd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I on the baseball show that we do on Saturdays, I was someone quick to blast Aroldis Chapman. I'm someone also quick to blast Jose Reyes. And when Jerry's familiar, I'm going to blast him just the same, because I'm sitting here saying, okay, whether it's, it's different things. I don't want to clump everything together, but whether it's domestic violence or is driving under the, influence, at what point are you lacking that self-control? At what point are you that insecure? At what point don't you have the sense to say, okay, let me just shut it down for a moment, because, I think, Bucko, you and I have spoken about this on many occasions, where I've been married so long that I can remember, through the years, my wife and I having a disagreement, and there being, a yelling match. And
you disagree with your wife?
To the point. And me getting to the point where I'm like, okay, let me disengage. Let me go outside. Let me go around the corner because this is silly.
Yeah.
But it seems like these guys, it's just time and time again. It's like their lack of judgment, constantly getting into these type of situations. And, I mean, we know Belichick wants to win. He's going to win at any cost. And he's paying this guy $1.2 million for 3 potential regular season games. He had to pick that contract up.
Yeah, that's what's remaining on the last year of his deal. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. I mean, I don't know. I know it's about wins. I know that's what really matters. All these people care about, and no one wants to talk about morals.
Let me ask this question to you, Ted. Let me ask this question to you. In your office, in your line of work, in any job that you've had, how many people would you say, on a percentage-wise, could go out on a Friday night, make a stupid decision, get arrested for a DWI, and be right back at work at Monday, and nobody would know any different?
That's a very high percentage.
Because somebody makes a bad decision on a weekend in their personal time, you should not derail or stop them from being able to earn a living. Just because these are polarizing individuals and they play a game that we love to watch, it does not make them any different from you and I as far as you still got to give them a chance to earn a living. Now,
yes, I agree.
Conduct policy is supposed to weed out these type of situations, and we'll see if Goodell steps up and does anything about it. But you can't fault the Patriots for just trying to get a good employee. They've had wide receiver injuries like nobody else. That's what I look at.
I'm with you on it. I'm just of that cloth where I'm going to say, do I want this element on my team versus how much do I want to win? That's where I'm not pleased.
Tampa Bay did the same thing in week 3 of the season. When we cut our tight end, they got a DUI. And guess what team picked him up? I'm not going to say their names.
New York Jets.
The New York football Jets. Okay? That guy, he's done nothing for you. So it was a bad move by the Jets. Yeah.
We'll segue because we're going to see what this guy does on Sunday. You want to talk about that mess? Won't play. You want to talk about that mess in Los Angeles? I mean, it's finally over, but this guy walking out the door was given maybe an $8 or $9 million deal for next year.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. Are you sure that we have the time to delve into the effery that is that situation? Because look, here's the deal: the guy, what we would equivalent in the corporate world as a CFO, the guy that's in charge of everything monetarily of your company. The guy that has that position with the Los Angeles Rams just so happened to be Jeff Fisher's son-in-law, and they both share the same agent. They share the same agent as well. So here's the deal: I have a very strong belief and conviction that they knew by week 2 that they were firing this man. And they gave him an extension on his contract. They gave him some walking away money because of the word you and I have used several times, good old nepotism, the old buddy system that exists in this world. Now, we all know a lot of times it ain't what you know but who you know. And we all know Jeff Fisher has given a lot to this game of football. Now, he's never been a good coach. The man's been a coach for 22 years. He's only had 7 winning seasons. He's a bum.
Right.
He's a terrible football coach. But he's not a bad man. He's been on the competition committee forever. He's done a lot for the game. But I don't think that that's worth $8 million of walking around money just to fire the bum. But that, again, speaks to the buddy system. It ain't what you know, it's
Right.
who you know. You go look back. Go look at Al. Remember when Lane Kiffin was the coach of the Raiders? And
Yes.
he had a 5-year contract. And he got fired. And he got fired for being incompetent and got none of his money. And he did a better job than what Jeff Fisher is doing. Jeff Fisher got $8 million to be fired. Lane Kiffin didn't even get the rest of his first year of coaching, let alone the other 4 years he had. So this is just somebody taking care of their people. And it's sad, and it's bad business. And that's why, the Rams suck. They're terrible. And they get everything they get for just trying to take care of their buddy Jeff instead of trying to win football games. It's an ugly, ugly situation.
Was Eric Dickerson, his criticism, just the handling of the situation, was that the icing on the cake for him? Because I tell you, Bucko, I saw Eric Dickerson on every network talking about Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, look, you have an organization that did win a Super Bowl. You have an organization that, outside of winning that Super Bowl, has been quite bad. They have not had a lot of success. And you're talking about the best player your franchise has ever had, still trying to be a part of the organization, still trying to help mentor young players and be a part of your rebuild coming back to L.A. And you, as a football coach, are going to have a problem with Eric Dickerson voicing his opinion of you being I almost said the wrong word, being a crappy coach. Okay? And you're going to tell a man that is the best thing that ever happened to that franchise, he's not welcome on the sideline. Yes, that was the writing on the wall. There was no way to spin it positively after that. It had to end. Because you're going to lose. You're trying to develop a fan base back in L.A. where Eric Dickerson was a god whenever the L.A. Rams, and you're going to shun Eric Dickerson for Jeff Fisher? No, sir. It's not going to happen.
Bucko, I want to switch real quickly to what's your thoughts of the Miami Dolphins? Tannehill, Adam Gase. Is it just like a rebirth?
Oh, man, I really think that Adam Gase can coach. I really think, because look, Jay Cutler's been a quarterback for 10 years now, Teddy? 10, 11 years he's been a quarterback.
Uh-huh.
He's only had 1 year where he looked like a legit quarterback, and that was last year. Do you remember when he just started going on fire and the Bears won their last 5 games and they thought they were going to be a sleeper team this year?
Yes.
I think that was 100% Adam Gase. Because look at Jay Cutler right now. He has been benched for Matt Barkley. Say that out loud.
I know.
Matt Barkley.
Oh.
Tannehill's always been a good numbers guy with quarterbacking. He gets a lot of what we call garbage time yards when they're already down by 20 points, and he gets a lot of yards and touchdowns to make it look better than what it really was. That's been Tannehill his whole career. But now he's actually playing situational football. He's winning football games at the end of games. Playing very well. And then, unfortunately, he gets hurt. And now we got to see what Matt Moore can do against your Jets. I might not watch that game on Saturday night, man. I might find something better to do.
Yeah, that's going to be painful.
Football game. Matt Moore versus
going to be
Petty.
painful. Whoo, boy. I tell you, that's going to be painful. The only thing I have going for me is the fact that I will be attending the Canadians and Capitals, and then I'll catch the tail end of the Jets and Dolphins, because nothing exciting about that. It's just the Jets have played uninspiring football the entire season. Uninspiring football. And the fact that they have so many of these veterans that are making max money, I don't know. Do we take a shot at Mike McCagnon? I mean, or is it that he just went all in? But you want to talk about a team that's unwatchable? It's the New York Jets.
I got to share something with you that had me. I mean, I literally fell on the floor laughing, and I almost called you to share it with you when it happened.
Okay.
The wife wants to get involved with watching football with me. She wants to be more involved with that because of, obviously how important it is to me. And we're watching the Jets, and I believe it was the Cardinals. I believe y'all played them on a primetime game. No, it was the Colts. It was when y'all played the Colts and got beat 41-10.
Oh, yeah.
And we're watching this game, and number 24 is getting roasted. She's like, who is this guy, Beavis? He needs to come off the field. He is not good. No longer is there Revis Island, sir. This is now Peninsula. He is terrible. He is finished. You need to get the guy out off the team. You're paying $19 million for one of the worst corners in football. That's ridiculous. And my wife called him Beavis. So his name's not Revis anymore. He is Beavis. I mean, because, when the jersey gets scrunched up, you can't kind of differentiate an R and a B. She thought it was a B and called him Beavis. And I died laughing at that.
He's played like Beavis. Then again, he's played more like Butthead this season. The fact, like I said, it's painful to watch them. The one thing I didn't share with you offline was I think I might have told you, we were talking one Saturday. I was offered tickets. I was there's certain times I attend games that I'm comped. I was offered tickets to go to go see Jets Rams at MetLife, and Bucko, I turned down the seats. Because I said no, thank you. These are two teams that you would probably have to pay me to watch.
Yeah, it is rough, man. It's hard. It's hard to watch.
Hey, I want to go back to coaching, and I just want to ask you about two more people in regards with coaching. Number one, the coach I want to talk about is now with Jeff Fisher now being gone, does the heat get turned up on Marvin Lewis?
I would like to say yes, but I'm going to just go ahead and say no. I think that Marvin Lewis, while being a fine coach, while being a great, leader of young men, I think 11 years, no playoff wins, 7 playoff appearances, not one single playoff win, not one. And then after winning the division last year and coming in and playing like they're playing this year, you would think that they would go ahead and move on from him, but for some sick reason, I think that he keeps his job. I think Rex Ryan is fired. I think Chip Kelly's fired. I think there are coaches that are going to be fired, but unfortunately, I don't think Marvin Lewis will be one of them. He should be, but he's not.
I mean, I gotta wonder if the Bengals do let Marvin Lewis go, how quick does he get a job?
Not this year. He'll probably have like a 1-year lag. I don't think there'll be enough vacancies to bring him on.
And I think the aforementioned, it's all about when, not if, but when it's going to happen. Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
I didn't like the hire in the first place, to be truthful with you.
Well, I didn't either, and I told you when we talked this off season. You asked me coaches that would be on the hot seat, and I mentioned him, and you said, "Really? Why?" And
yeah.
I don't think he's sitting well with the people. I don't think it's working. You bring on your stupid brother, and a team that's been in the top 5 in defense every year, except for when you're the coach. That doesn't look good.
I have to go to. I hate to even talk about this, but the Cowboys and Prescott and Romo and can you predict, will we see a Tony Romo sighting this season?
I think Philadelphia has pretty much mailed it in, and that's who Dallas finished the season against. I think you'll see Tony Romo just to get some reps, just to get him some game time action in case you need him in the playoffs. I think you will see Tony Romo, or maybe the third, fourth quarter of the Philadelphia game. You'll see him come in there just to get some snaps, just to get his legs up under him. But, dude, let's be honest here. Okay, Tony Romo's been the quarterback of the team for 9 years. Okay, and they've never been 11-2 at any point of him being the quarterback of that team. So to go against the success that you're having right now just because Tony Romo's there, that's stupidity. And if it wasn't for Jerry Jones being the owner, you wouldn't hear any conversation of that happening. So I think you will see him. But I think this is Dak's team. This is Dak's job to lose. Hopefully he loses this Sunday. We're praying for a loss by him Sunday night. But other than that, he's done a fine job.
I gotta go here. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but there's something happening in Tampa. But before we even get to Tampa, I think close to 3 years ago, when we worked on Wednesday nights, you were hollering at me about this famous Jameis character. And then we laughed. We laughed when the whole crab legs deal went down and this guy, and then, there was, issues with, sexual assault and a whole bunch of other things. There's always been something going on with this guy. There was always a sense of entitlement with him being in Florida and southern Florida. But I tell you, ever since this guy has come onto this team, I've seen him drop weight. You're seeing him look good. And not only that, I think I might have asked you, did Lovie Smith really coach this team last season?
He did not do a good job at it. If you want to know how good a coach Lovie Smith is, go ahead and do yourself a favor and Google the University of Illinois' record this year, where he went to become the head football coach of a team that won 6 games last year. I believe they went 1-11. So, yeah. No, Lovie Smith used to be a good coach. He's a good mentor of men. He's a good leader of men. He's a good man, period. But the game of football has progressed, and his style of coaching did not. So, no, he did not coach the football team. If anything, he was a detriment. We won 6 games despite his ineptitude, if you ask me. Because you go and look at Dirk Cutter's never been a head coach before. He's been an offensive coordinator a couple places, and he's got the team 8-5 in playoff contention, 5-game winning streak. And then this is with Jameis Winston playing not good football. He's not throwing touchdowns all over the place. He's not lighting the scoreboard up. It's the defense, and it's the team, and it's the not making penalties and not turning the football over. Stuff that directly relates to coaching. So, yes, I believe that Lovie Smith was doing a bad job.
There's that piece, but this guy's taken on the role as being the leader of the team. This is like we expected that he should, but he's really stepped up. It's good to see. It's good to see.
No, it's very good to see.
And
the man. Well, we sorry to interrupt you, but I just gotta. For those that don't know and those that don't follow Jameis Winston, well, we were 3-5 after giving up 40 points to the Atlanta Falcons at home on primetime TV. Just got destroyed. Jameis Winston wrote a handwritten letter to every teammate and hung it in their locker. Just telling them how much he loves them and how grateful he is to be a part of the team and play with these guys every day, and just ask that they give everything they got as he will give everything he's got as well. Since he's written that letter, we haven't lost a game. So he really grabbed a hold of his team. They're preaching a family concept, lift your brother up, play for your brother.
Right.
And it's working, man. It's working. And then
that's good.
And relative to, and then with the sexual assault case, I got a nice little nugget if you got time for it. We can save it for another time if not. But
No. Go. Because
all right. Well, you remember you and I talking off the record, and I said something seems fishy about this because society as it is, 80% of the time, if you have a white woman accusing a black man of rape, the black man's going to get some injustice, or, it's going to basically not go the favor of the black man. So for a black man to be acquitted of any kind of charges against a white woman in this society, do y'all know what I'm talking about when I say this? That's already an anomaly in itself. But yet, he's still caught so much flack and still viewed by millions of people as a rapist, as a wrongdoer of this particular individual. Now, he got acquitted federally of any kind of criminal charges from the Supreme Court on up. So the young woman and her lawyers filed a civil suit, and Jameis, in turn, filed a countersuit for defamation and, all the other things that go along with that. Here's a funny little deal. There was a, group of feminists that put together a documentary called The Hunting Grounds, which is a 2-hour documentary of the ongoing struggles that young women in college face being sexually assaulted and not receiving justice and things of that nature, right? Okay. And they made this young woman, Erica Kinsman, the poster child of that documentary because her case was the most high profile of any that were on it. And the young woman, you have to forgive me, I don't know the name of the lawyer that put this story out to combat the USA Today. But she put a story out claiming that Jameis Winston was going to win his defamation case by, landslide. And this woman had no chance of winning hers. So she's saying that the creators of this film and this woman's attorneys approached Jameis Winston and his people and settled everything off the record to drop both lawsuits so that, A, the documentary doesn't get debunked by having a fraudulent individual having a claim against the person being the front runner of the documentary. And I found that to be eye-opening as it gets. You go from a man losing endorsements, possibly not being the first-round pick, all kinds of transgressions because of this stuff, and then winning in the court system. That's amazing. I just thought I'd share that little bit of nugget with you.
Oh, no, I appreciate the story. I mean, sexual assault is something serious, Bucko, on college campuses. There did seem like there was some improprieties with this story. I mean, you and I weren't there, but the fact of the matter is the case is no longer valid. There was a settlement. Not sure if we'll ever know, if either party are allowed or not allowed to speak about it. I would think it's the latter. They're not going to speak about it, and we're just hoping both parties are able to move on with their lives, and that we ultimately we hope that the young woman is able to move on with her life, and of course this young man, because he's the face of football in Tampa, Florida. He's the face of Florida.
Well, the thing is this, is that, yes, there are a lot of women that are, assaulted, and there is a lot of injustice when it comes to that. There is. But the other side of the coin that I'm trying to bring to light it's not because of my fandom of Florida State, Tampa Bay, not because of the appreciation I have for Jameis Winston as a man and a football player. It's the appreciation that I have for there are also a lot of women that make false claims. There have been several people wrongfully accused that served multiple years in prison just to be, when the statute of limitations is up, released because the people admit they were telling a lie. You know what I mean? So for the fact that a man fought for what he knew was right against all odds and won, I think that needs to be talked about as much as it needs to be talked about the women that have been wrongfully done. I feel that this man was wrongfully done and lost millions of dollars because of it, and no one's going to talk about that. So I wanted to.
No, you're right. No, and I appreciate that. Before we get ready to close out, we got, as I mentioned, I was planning on attending Redskins Panthers, but that won't be happening. What's your take on that? Is it just more hype? Is it just going to be just Josh Norman flapping off at the gums, or Norman and Cam Newton going back and forth? What's your deal?
Norman
I mean, does that keep... Okay.
I think it's going to be a very good football game. I think the two teams are matched well. I'm saddened by your friend's loss that you weren't able to attend it, because I think you're going to miss out on a hell of a football game. That being said, Josh Norman has been exposed as just being an okay player and an above-average trash talker. That seems to be more what he's concerned about, is talking better trash and getting more media attention than actually making the play. I've looked at the film. Des Bryant exposed him a couple of times on Twitter, and there have been some other avenues just showing the overall mediocre play that he's had. However, he's still jumping up, getting in the face of every player, being a diva. Like, dude, I understand you were an undrafted player out of, North Carolina Central or wherever small school you went to. I get it. You were trying to establish a brand. You're trying to get paid. You got paid, bro. Play football. Shut up. You're not that good. You're not Richard Sherman. You're not Deion Sanders. Shut up. Play football. Frankly, I'm sick of seeing it because he's not good enough. But that's my take.
So all these guys that were, that corner, or that, wanted to be called that shutdown corner, I've seen a lot of these guys get burnt this season, Bucko.
Yeah.
In your eyes, who's the best cornerback in the league right now?
That's a tough question, bro. That is a really, really, really tough question. Because there's been so much inconsistency. A guy that I'm seeing playing very well that nobody talks about because he's not on a good football team, but he is playing phenomenal football. There's a young man by the name of Casey Hayward. Was a very unknown player for the Packers. The Packers let him go to free agency to the Chargers. And I believe he leads the league in picks. I think he has 8 picks. He's leading the league. He, from what I've seen, just watching tape, he has looked like the best corner in football to me. Now, Janoris Jenkins is balling over there in New York. Patrick Peterson is still Patrick Peterson. And I still think Richard Sherman is damn good. He is an awesome player. He's been without his 2 safeties the majority of the year.
Right.
But if I had to give it to one person, I'd give it to Casey Hayward or Marcus Peters for the Chiefs. Those would be my 2 top corners.
So, Bucko, as we get ready to close this out, real quick, Oakland and San Diego, where are they going to be playing next year?
Man, that's a tough question because since the last time we spoke, where we talked about this Vegas thing, it still looks like a quite large possibility. Since the last time we spoke, both L.A. and Oakland have come with stadium proposals to the Raiders. So, honestly, I think the Vegas deal, brand new state-of-the-art stadium in an untapped market, I think Vegas, for the Raiders, is the best likely spot. But I can't rule out that if Oakland is going to build them a new stadium, that they don't stay there just because of the loyalty, because of the history. But I believe San Diego will be sharing the same stadium with the Rams next year.
Okay. That sounds good. As we prep to close this out, we're going to have you back because this is I don't even know if you know, but I call this series Bucko Bruce Knows Football. This is volume 3.
Okay.
And I want to have you get back just before the playoffs start to, get your thoughts on it, and it's most of the stuff I'll give you your props. Most of the stuff you say, you're dead on. You were dead on with Jameis. You were dead on.
Dead off wrong with Jacksonville, though. I'm surprised you didn't give me no crap about being that wrong about them.
No. I wanted to leave that. I wanted to leave that for the next version, because you were dead wrong. You were so high on your Florida team.
Hey,
so high on it.
Got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Nothing.
Oh my goodness, that's a hot mess there in Jacksonville, and they've got studs, young studs, but
there's way too much talent on that team to be a 3-win football team. Way too much.
It's just, as you said before, without the right talent, without the right coach to handle that talent, then they are a 3-win football team.
Yeah.
We got 3 minutes. What's going to happen with Thursday Night Football?
Hopefully something better. Did you see this crap football game they put on? Did it hurt your eyes to see Seattle's uniforms tonight, or was it just me? Like, I had the 4K OLED TV, and I had to turn the color down. I had to dumb it down to 720. I couldn't watch the full HD. It was hurting my eyes. Like, the color rush is stupid. Okay, the color rush puts some awful uniforms out there, and they need to stop just trying to put divisional games on there. Because let's face it, Ted, not every team in every division is good. We don't need to watch Jacksonville. We don't need to watch the Rams. What we need to put, just like how Tampa Bay got flexed to Sunday night, playing Dallas.
Right.
What we need to do is after the first half of the season, we need to start putting games on Thursday night that are primetime eligible.
Yes.
We need good football teams. And
we do.
I just read that they got a slate for 4 games in London next year, and they're talking about having a game in China in 2018. I'm like, Lord, it's just going the wrong direction, Ted. I don't know what Goodell's doing. I wrote an article on barbershopsports.com about 5 years ago about this individual. It's all coming to fruition, Ted. He's ruining the game.
It is. It is. They want global. They want streaming. They want everything they want. Doesn't involve the fan. Doesn't involve increasing that fan experience when you're at that stadium, because they've already got your money. They've already turned you upside down and shook the last bit of change out of your pockets. So they're thinking of other stuff. Like I said, there's so many things that we can talk about. But, hey, tell me the best ways to get in contact with you on social media.
It's the same on Twitter and Facebook, /BuckoBruce83. I'm accessible. I'm not famous. I don't have a blue check mark like Ted Hicks, but I am there, and I will engage.
Buck, I want to thank you so much for joining this week. On our podcast next week, going to have a supersized show. We're going to have about 4 guests, and it's going to be for the most part, it's going to be our end-of-year show, 2 hours. We're going to talk a little tech. We're going to talk the National Runaway Safety Executive Director is going to be with us, and a whole bunch of others. And I think that's it. We're going to get ready to close on out of here, and we'll see you next week.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
Shopping at Acme Markets now earns you gas reward points to redeem at participating Sunoco stations. Shop and start earning today. Look for additional fuel savings on MyMix. Sign up at acmemarkets.com or download the Acme app today. Get Lancaster brand USDA choice beef bone-in ribeye roast, $4.77 a pound with in-ad coupon and additional $25 purchase. And imported seedless clementines 2-pound bags, $1.99. Maximum gas reward at participating Sunoco stations is $1 per gallon in a single fill-up up to 25 gallons. Other restrictions and exclusions apply. See complete details at acmemarkets.com.